So that is the Prime Minister's brief message, the first Parliament session of 2021, and he's put out an appeal to opposition parties saying, let's hope that there is a very constructive, productive session. These are live visuals from the Rashtrapati Bhavan. As is the tradition, the President now will leave from the Rashtrapati Bhavan and will be escorted to the Parliament, where he will make that address.
जी हाँ, राष्ट्रपति आप संसद भवन की ओर निकल रहे हैं अपने कारों के साथ।
From the President, Honorable President Shri Ramnath Kovind will now...
जी हाँ, सीधी तस्वीरें आप राष्ट्रपति भवन से देख रहे हैं और राष्ट्रपति भवन से राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद निकलते हुए संसद भवन के लिए, जैसा कि आपको हम बता रहे हैं कि अभिभाषण होगा और राज्यसभा लोकसभा संयुक्त रूप से संबोधित करेंगे और बजट सत्र की शुरुआत होगी अभिभाषण के बाद। और अभिभाषण के लिए राष्ट्रपति संसद भवन की ओर रुख करते हुए।
So you see the cavalcade there leading the President's vehicle, leading the President's convoy. This is the tradition that we see just ahead of the President's address, which is slated to happen at 11 a.m. Rahul Srivastava is joining us with more details on this. Rahul, this is a tradition, an annual tradition, a very rich one that we've been following for many, many years. This time, unfortunately, it's also very political because about 20 opposition parties will not be there for the President's address.
Akshita, it's a very rich tradition. It's an old tradition where the President addresses the first session of the year. Basically, it is a symbol that the President of India is the head of the Constitution. And as the guardian of the Constitution, the Cabinet and the Council of Ministers works at the pleasure of the President of India. And that is why he addresses both the houses as a mark that under him as a guardian, how Parliament and other organs should be functioning. But yes, it is now becoming a practice that opposition and government rift is so deep and wide now that political consensus of any kind seems to be disappearing even inside Parliament. Last year we had seen that in similar scenes, several political parties, instead of being inside when the President was addressing, were reading out the Constitution outside of the Gandhi statue in Parliament. Now this time around, 16-party bloc led by Congress has announced that it will be boycotting. Also, parties like BSP, Akali Dal and AAP are not part of the bloc, but they are also boycotting. So apart from the NDA players like JDU and the BJP, you have AIADMK, BJD, YRSP and TRS, which may be inside as far as this session is concerned, the address of the President is concerned. Now, conventionally, the speech of the President is put to a vote and a discussion. Now, if the opposition has objection, it can generally move amendments and it can get some changes made. But it seems a political point is being scored, largely because, Akshita, because this time there is a protest at the borders of Delhi happening over the farm bills, farm laws. Now the opposition senses there is an opportunity that it can drive a political point inside Parliament also. Also, in the last 2-3 days after the 26th January incident, there has been a certain amount of weakening or disarray as far as the farmers' campaign is concerned. And the opposition is stepping in, shifting the theatre or creating yet another theatre of conflict and pressure as far as the government is concerned. Now, the government has a very critical agenda, is the budget. Importantly, it has to be put to vote. And second important element is there are 3 ordinances that the government will like to promulgate, get the nod of the Parliament. One of them very critical, Lakshita, is the law regarding pollution and the one which we have been talking about vis-a-vis the demands of the farmers about the pollution and air quality at the NCR, which includes stubble burning and the penalties which the government was discussing with the farmers. Will the government go ahead or as a signal to the farmers, hold it back? If it holds back, then the law ordinance will lapse and perhaps it will go down as a signal to the farmers.
You know, the fact that the President's address, perhaps the most non-political event in Parliament, is being politicized in such a way is really an indication of how stormy this session is going to really be, Rahul. And perhaps for the government to have any chance of ensuring any business in both houses, of ensuring that this is a productive session, they will have to keep certain time aside for the opposition and the opposition's demand for a detailed debate on the farm laws. And is that going to happen?
You see, Akshita, very difficult. Once a law has been passed by Parliament and it has been debated inside Parliament for whatever period, when it was being discussed and debated at that time, the opposition had created tremendous amount of ruckus. But yes, the opposition can demand that there can be a discussion on the farm laws or the farm protest. That is one element that the opposition can demand, and perhaps the government, which has been saying that it is ready to discuss anything under the sun, may give in. But the fact is that the opposition may like a discussion, not only a discussion, but also the opposition may like to put the entire discussion to a vote. And that's where lies the catch. Will the government agree to something like that? The chances of it are very, very dim.
Okay, so that will mean that the opposition is going to make it very, very difficult for the government to do any business in the budget session. There's also going to be a lot of focus away from the farm laws also, Rahul, on the budget itself. And considering the times that we're in amid a pandemic, the opposition no doubt is going to be focusing and putting a lot of scrutiny on what really emerges as the big headline from the budget.
In his address,
Yes, actually, the budget is very critical. Remember that it is a budget being presented in the middle of a pandemic which has pushed the limits of government spending, and it has shrunk the government's earnings. There has been a lot of unplanned expenditure throughout the year, so much so that most of the ministries in the government had to be told by the government that curtail your expenditure, which means one will have to wait and see that several schemes of the government and policies and others, what kind of allocation do they get? The indication from the government is that it is going to be a budget which might provide a certain degree of one infrastructural push, also might expand what people are talking about is the base as far as the putting more money into the hands of the common people. Now, what can be done? Perhaps is the degree of exclusion as far as the direct taxes are concerned. Remember that when the government was announcing several stops during the period of the pandemic, one of the segments which was there was a perception was left untouched was the middle class and the salaried class. Will the government look into that issue? Those are going to be the elements which the budget is going to get really keenly watched about.
That's right. And on our screens are the live visuals of the president's cavalcade moving forward. You've got the cavalcade followed by also his convoy. As is the tradition, really, the president is escorted from the Rashtrapati Bhavan to Parliament. And about 10 minutes from now, he will be speaking to a joint session of Parliament. It usually starts off every year. The budget session kicks off with the president's address, where he highlights really the big events, the big moments for India in the last 1 year. And this time, about 20 opposition parties have said that they will not be a part of the president's address. Is this, in a sense, unprecedented, Rahul, this kind of politicization of the president's address?
President Kovind's
The president's address has seen some lows in the past. Last year, for example, as I was saying, several political parties from the opposition had decided to, instead of being part of it, they had decided to stand at the Gandhi statue outside Parliament building, and they had read out the Constitution. They were saying that since the constitutional values are being mortgaged and set aside, they would like to reread the Constitution of the Government of India. So what one can say is that so divided is the government and the opposition ranks today in Indian Parliament that we are seeing unprecedented situations emerging. For 16 political parties to actually come out and say that they are boycotting is definitely a low as far as parliamentary functioning since 1950 is concerned. But the fact remains, remember, that in Lok Sabha, if 16 parties are boycotting, actually that does not impact the government's numerical issues because the BJP and the NDA have runaway majority inside the Lok Sabha. And as far as the budget is concerned, usually the money bills or financial bills are not, the government is not worried because once the Lok Sabha clears it, even if there is trouble in the Rajya Sabha, the government can overcome that by re-clearing it in the Lok Sabha. And that is why the concern is not whether the budget will be passed or not. The concern is the breakdown and the lack of discussion which might ensue over critical issues like budget, the president's speech, and also at a time when there are farmers on the streets around Delhi from several states who are saying that the farm bills need to have a relook. The political divide which exists today over those issues perhaps is not a very healthy thing.
You know, when you talk about that political divide, Rahul, and the optics for both the opposition and the government, who do you think it reflects more poorly on?
See, it is not a matter of who. Eventually, it is bad news for parliamentary functioning of the country. I always believe that the onus of running a session, of getting everybody along, lies with the government. But also what one has seen, that despite efforts of the government, the opposition too is now in a state that it has, there is no consensus. There is no room for consensus building left eventually as far as the parliament is concerned. Say, for example, elections are going to take place in Bengal. Today you have a controversy raging between the state government and the state governor. Now, that kind of friction, which is generated because of the heat of elections, is now impacting parliament completely and daily. And that is why, if you see the divide over in this session, is going to be much more wider and much more significant, primarily because political parties are preparing for elections.
Right, and on your screens are the visuals. Looks like the president's cavalcade there is just entering into the parliament at 11 dot is when he will be addressing a joint session of the parliament. Let me remind you again that the opposition parties have chosen to boycott this particular address by the president. They say that this is to express their solidarity with the protesting farmers at Delhi's borders. The centre's issued one appeal after another, with the Parliamentary Affairs Minister telling the opposition not to boycott the president's address, saying, "We will address your concerns, we will discuss in great detail all issues at the all-party meet." It hasn't, however, cut any eyes. And as we speak, as the president's vehicle there rolls into the Parliament building, there are several MPs who are staging a protest also near the Gandhi statue in Parliament, which is something that's become a norm of sorts of late, with many MPs choosing to voice their opposition during the sessions of Parliament at the Gandhi statue. So even as the president gets set to address the joint session of Parliament, we're seeing a lot of politics playing out over this event. You'll see a lot of empty chairs as well, as many members of Parliament from the opposition, almost 20 opposition parties, choosing to boycott the president's address. President Ramnath Kovind just making his way out of the car there and heading up the stairs of Parliament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be there to personally welcome the president. Let's cut across live.